Hi, I'm Irina Baker, and I would like to mention a quote. According to Forbes, 70% of employees hate their jobs. Are you one of them? And if you're an entrepreneur, do you love what you do? Are you completely satisfied with what you do in your business? I'm inviting you to my newest video series, and we're starting today. And it's called 11 Obstacles to the Deeply Satisfying Life. And at the end of this series, I am going to give you my formula to deeply satisfying life. And it resulted from 20 years of personal, professional, and spiritual experience that I finally came to the conclusion that this formula really works. It has worked in my life and it has worked in lives of many clients I have worked with. And so let's start with the first one. 15 years ago, I was in my counseling office and a client came to me. She was 53 years old and she was just going through a very difficult divorce of 23 years. She lived with her husband for 23 years and finally decided to dissolve their relationship. And the first words that she uttered that when she came to my office were, I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. 15 years later, these words still resonate with me. They're so clear because it was a shocking statement. Even though people usually say that, and just think about it, 53 years old, and you don't know what you want to be in life. um, there is no judgment whatsoever. It's just a statement. And the reason I'm bringing it up is because if she knew what her biggest dream was, because every single person on earth has the biggest dream, and that's what we're going to talk about today. The biggest dream and the obstacle to deeply satisfying life is ignoring your biggest dream. And so, if that client of mine knew for 53 years, she had no idea, or perhaps she knew about the dream, most likely because we all do, but she chose to ignore it, she chose not to pay attention to it, because usually this dream feels like it's too good to be true. But as I found out, the straightest, the most direct path to the deeply satisfying life is to retrieve your biggest dream and fulfill it and go after it. It's your soul calling, it's your divine design, it's something that you came here on earth to do. That person had that dream for 53 years, but she chose not to fulfill it. Of course, she didn't know any better, so that's okay too. And here is my favorite quote from a metaphysician, Florence Scovel Shinn. And she said, there is a place that you are to fill, and no one else can fill. Something you are to do, and no one else can do. There is a perfect picture of this in the superconscious mind. It usually flashes across the conscious as an unattainable ideal, something too good to be true. And throughout your life, it's usually there is some crazy fantasy, some crazy desire that flashes in your mind. It periodically comes to the conscious mind, comes to the surface. And it's so intimate and it's so personal that you would love to achieve it. You know that you would be really happy. It would look and feel so good to you, but it feels like it's unattainable in your present circumstances. It's something that is not reality for you, and you feel that it will never be. And so this dream stays in your conscious or superconscious mind rather than sometimes comes to the surface. I call it moving to the moon dream because I have experienced that before. I'm pursuing my next dream, but it's like moving to the moon because it's so big that you think, oh my gosh, will I be able to achieve it? But rest assured, assured you will if you decide to. And this dream appears as a sweet longing. I will give you all the symptoms of that dream, all the signs that if you are achieving it or not achieving. So that's why I'm explaining it in so many details. So it's a sweet longing. It's something is so cherished. So I also call it a cherished dream. And it's of course too be good to be true. It's like a carrot that is being dangled in front of you, and at this moment you can't reach that carrot if you're not fulfilling your dream. And that's because everything has energy, and your biggest dream is designed by your soul. I'll talk about it a little bit later, but it's frequency. It's your biggest dream has a higher frequency, so it doesn't match your frequency right now where you are, because it's designed to, while you're attaining this dream, you will grow, you will expand, you will be more spiritual, you will be more aware, and you will be a better person and a better spiritual being. So the soul is seeking to self-express through the attaining of the dream, at the same time healing and moving forward, spiritually progressing. And this dream is designed by your soul. So you as a soul, before you were born, have designed this dream for yourself. So even though it feels too good to be true, there is a reason it's there. Because just imagine, if you are never meant to be a ballerina, you will never dream about being a ballerina or the president of the United States. I wouldn't want to be the president of the United States, even if I were born in this country, which was not, but it doesn't matter. I really don't want. This is not my dream. My soul did not design that particular dream. And opposite the presidents who became presidents, their souls have designed those dreams for them for the specific purpose of learning, self-expressing, learning the power, expressing it, and so forth. And so every single person has a dream in their life, but not many acknowledge it. So if you go to work day by day and you're miserable at your job, you might think, oh, this is the job. No, it's not. It's about you. And you need to ask yourself, are you acknowledging your biggest dream? Are you going after the biggest dream? And I'm going to ask those questions later. And so usually we are aware of our dreams starting from childhood. In my childhood or in my later years, I always knew I would be this and it. So I had two parts of my dream that would flash in my mind, and I would always think, oh, that would be great to have, or this is what I would love to do. And it continued. So over the years, no matter what I did, no matter what I've accomplished and did and worked and grew, my dreams stayed the same. Everything I wanted deep inside and didn't accomplish at that time was unchangeable. It's always the same dream. And even my friends would tell me later, many years later, they would say, wow, you have the same dream. You had that. You talked about it before. And I would say, really? I didn't? I have no idea. I don't even remember. So the dream is, you are aware of this dream on some level, consciously or subconsciously, and it's there from your childhood because the soul has designed it for you before you were born. So when you're born, you were already born with your dream, that is moving to the moon dream, designed to push you to the limits, to push you through the limits, and sky is the limit. So that's the biggest dream of your life, and it's your divine destiny. When I became spiritually aware and got on the path of spiritual healing, intense transformation over these years in '96. And since then, I felt like I was always at the right place, at the right time. I was growing, I was healing. I knew that I was preparing myself for something. And I had three signs that were always there with me. The first one, I knew, I was aware of my dream. I was aware what I ultimately wanted to do, what I ultimately wanted to achieve in this life. So it stayed unchanged. The second symptom I had was I felt a sense of urgency. It was like time, the clock is ticking, and it was not my biological clock, but the clock was ticking, and it was telling me something, and I had no idea what it was. With all my spiritual knowledge, I still didn't know. Well, now I know it was preparation. It was telling me prepare because we are going after that biggest dream. And then the third symptom I had was the deep dissatisfaction. Like I said, when I was counseling people, and then I was working at the college, and I had my business, hypnosis business, spiritual regressions, and so forth. When I would speak, I always felt that I was at the right place. I loved and enjoyed what I was doing, but the voice inside and the feeling inside, the feeling was clearly in my chest. It was palpable, you could feel it, it was right there, I could really pinpoint it, and it was deep dissatisfaction. And it was saying to me, there is something bigger, there is something more, and you are going there. So this is not where you're supposed to be forever. So yes, it didn't push me out because I needed to prepare for my dream, but it was there to tell me and for me not to be complacent and just be stuck where I was, because I needed to move forward having prepared myself. And so these three symptoms, you have to watch for them. If you experience any of them, that means there is a dream, you haven't gone after it yet, and it's telling you, your inner voice, your soul is telling you, hey, it's time to start doing it. Because obviously, if you're watching this video, if you got so interested that you got to this point, then there is a message for you. And I hope the message is that you could hear that you need to acknowledge your dream and start moving forward. And so another thing I would like to I would like to discuss is what happened when I started pursuing my dream. The time has come when I was ready, obviously, according to spiritual standards, I guess. And somehow, unexpectedly, I started my path. And I didn't know when exactly I would start. And so I started, I am pursuing my moving to the moon dream. And so 3 symptoms, let's look at them. The moving to the moon dream is still there in front of me because it's the carrot, and I'm following that carrot like a rabbit. I want that carrot, but I'm already taking steps to pursue this dream. So the dream is my soul fuel, and it gives me passion, it gives me commitment, it gives me big why to pursue it. It gives me the reason why I have to go through so much healing, through so much growth, so much obstacles, so many obstacles in order to get to that dream, because that I know why it's in my heart. And the second symptom was the sense of urgency. Well, guess what? The sense of urgency is completely gone because I have prepared and now I am pursuing it. So there is no sense of urgency. Yes, I have to do the work. I have to take actions every day. And I will teach you about it in my next videos. But the sense of urgency is gone, clearly showing to me that I am pursuing my dream. And the last symptom was dissatisfaction was in my chest. Well, guess what? The dissatisfaction is completely out. My chest is clear, it expanded energetically. So I feel very much in place. I feel very much in my power and knowing that I will accomplish it because everything is prepared and the soul is supporting me, because the soul itself or herself has designed the dream and is self-expressing right now. And so I am content and satisfied. So think about these symptoms and see where you are in relation to your biggest dream. And now I would like you to ask these questions. Are you living completely satisfying life? So that's your first question to look and to ponder. Are you living completely satisfying life? Because if you are not living your biggest dream, you will not have a completely satisfying life. By the virtue of your soul will be dissatisfied at this moment, because your soul wants to pursue your biggest dream. Are you aware of your moving to the moon dream? That's another one. Some people, like I said, everybody knows, but they put aside, they put it back into the mind, so they don't acknowledge, they ignore it, and they forget about it. So are you aware of your moving to the moon dream? Recently, I asked the person I just met, and I said, do you know what your next step is? Do you know of your soul calling? And she was very vague. And the first thing she said, well, sort of. When a person says to me, well, sort of, no, you're not aware, because it's either yes or no. I know my biggest dream. I know I'm fulfilling it. I'm working towards it, or I don't know it. I'm not sure. If I'm not sure, then it's there, but I haven't acknowledged it yet. And so, if you know your biggest dream, what is it? Tell yourself, acknowledge it, put it into words, put it in writing, make it very, very personal. It is your personal dream. And this dream, no, we don't talk about it because it's so crazy, it's so intimate, like I said. So, you need to acknowledge it yourself and make it personal, and perhaps maybe talk to a person whom you trust. Don't go and talk to anybody around, because people will influence you with their thoughts, with their doubt, with their disbelief. But you can talk to a trusted friend or trusted spouse, trusted partner, the one you can talk to, and they will understand you. And then the next one, do you believe this is your soul calling? I know for sure from my experience, from research, from my professional work over this 20 years, that this biggest dream is your soul dream, is your soul destiny. This is your soul calling. The soul wants to self-express, and the soul wants you to have fun and play. And so, if it's your true dream, this is your soul calling. Do you believe this is your soul calling? That's how you check if it's your true, big, cherished dream. And if you're not substituting it for something that is more convenient, easier, more safer, no, no, no. That dream is not safe. That dream is not convenient. That dream is too good to be true. It will be great when you attain it, but you have to be on a hero's journey to attain it, and we will talk about it in other videos. So are you, the next question, when you decide or when you acknowledge finally your dream, are you fulfilling your soul calling? Are you fulfilling your soul calling? Do you really feel that? Do you really know? One of my clients came to me and said, I have a big mission. I know what it is. I'm just stuck right now. I need help. Yes, that's a great statement to say, because yes, you're on a hero journey. You will have obstacles. You will be stuck. You will be having troubles, so to speak. They're not troubles. They're spiritual puzzles for you to solve and to move forward and push yourself and really grow. But you know your dream. So this person knew the dream, the soul desire. Do you feel intense feeling of urgency? That's the question I asked. I felt, remember how I said, I felt the intense feeling of urgency. Do you feel it? Do you feel that something is pushing you? Something is telling you, stop playing around. You need to straighten out and go after your dream. Do you feel deep dissatisfaction, like you meant to do more, like you meant to be more, like you have to accomplish more? Do you feel deep dissatisfaction, like you meant to do more? So that's a question. These are the questions that you need to ask yourself, because these are the questions will help you to understand what your moving to the moon dream is, and to do something about it, to obtain really satisfying life. And I would like to share, first of all, I will invite you to receive a gift from me to help you further on this path of spiritual awareness. And after that, I'll tell you a story about the dream. And so, right now, if you would like to receive 5 obstacles, it's called where is it? If you would like to receive my complimentary 5 principles you absolutely must use to find the best solution to any situation, please go to giftfromirina.com. Giftfromirina.com, and here is the obstacle for you. Spell it correctly with IRINA, only because you will get that gift if you spell correctly my name. IRINA, giftfromirina.com, and you will receive a complimentary 5 principles you absolutely must use in every situation to find the best solution to every situation. And I'm not talking about physical actions. I'm talking about my mantras that I've been using literally every day of my life to deal with everyday issues, everyday situations, and so forth. And they made my life so much easier and more powerful and joyful. So I really encourage you to do that because they will help you. I know that for sure. And so here is the story I wanted to share about the dream, the biggest dream, how it was acknowledged. So if you are an entrepreneur, you have to align your business with, and by the way, this story is for entrepreneurs. So if you're an entrepreneur, you must align your business with your soul calling, with your biggest dream, because this is what you came here to do. And this soul juice or soul fuel will carry you through the obstacles of growing business, starting the business, growing business, and moving forward in your business. Without that, this is your big why, because without that, you will not have enough of stamina, enough of big why, enough of reason to persevere where everybody else quits. A lot of people who quit their business because it's so hard, there is no judgment, that's what we do, we have to support ourselves and our families. But if you have that stubborn desire that my dream is there, I believe that I can achieve it, and then you go after it, that's meaning in life. You will find meaning in life at the same time making tons of money, because you will have full support of celestial team, I call it, full support of your soul, will be given all opportunities and challenges, of course, to grow, remember. But they will be so much easier because you will be deeply satisfied. To make money is one thing, to be deeply satisfied is another thing, and I will discuss that later as well. And so you will have enough passion, commitment, and full support of your celestial team to fulfill your business desire, to fulfill your moving to the moon desire, and growing your business to the heights you cannot imagine. Without that, you will not be able to grow it in this new energy now. And people quit because they lack internal drive. It's not because they cannot do it. I believe that people can if they really want, but that internal lack of desire, internal drive that takes them further, that helps them go through the obstacles, will not be there because there is not enough meaning. If you just do it for the money, there is not enough meaning. It has to be a soul desire. And so here is the story that I promised. I will call my client Jane. So a client or a woman has worked in her husband's business for quite some time, and then she divorced her husband and decided to build a business on her own. But she didn't know what she needed to start working on. So she had ideas, and they were nice ideas, but she wasn't sure. So she hired a business mentor, and they started working together. And they got stuck right away And the reason was she was not the mentor. The business mentor didn't feel or didn't see enough sparks in her eyes, enough enthusiasm about her idea. So the business mentor knew something was wrong. They couldn't proceed because she wouldn't be able to accomplish all these difficult tasks of marketing and business strategy because she didn't have that passion for it. And maybe not the passion itself, but enthusiasm and big why. And so if we found out, so I was invited to work with this client on finding her soul mission, finding her biggest dream and the soul mission, soul calling. She told her business mentor and to me that a psychologist she worked with suggested that it would be a good idea for her to work with women opening their creativity. Well, something is wrong, right? A psychologist suggested. It wasn't she knew, she felt it. Somebody else suggested it to her. Maybe it was psychologist's dream. I don't know, but it's wrong. It rubs me the wrong way because you find your own answers. And so she thought that it was a good idea. And she hired the business manager, business mentor actually, to fulfill that idea, to make that idea happen, to work with women in opening their creativity. And when I asked her about her creativity plans, I saw that there were no sparks in her eyes. Her facial expression showed different. She was not excited. So I knew right away something was in trouble here. Something was wrong. And then I also knew from the previous conversation with her business mentor that she was a financial planner. And however, this woman did not mention about finances or planning anything. And here she was, a financial planner sitting right in front of me. So when I asked her about financial planning, while she was thinking how to respond, I saw it right away. We were on Google Hangout and saw each other. And so she bit that lip, she made a face. You can see the shadow, the energy around her head changed, the shadow overcame, and I knew it was not what she wanted to do. It was not aligned with her soul mission. And so we needed to work through. So finally, she connected with her soul and retrieved her contract, the soul calling. And it was emotional for her. It was an emotional breakthrough. She cried and she felt relieved, and she said that the burden has lifted. She instantly felt liberated and relieved, according to her words. The idea was promising what she said, and she was really excited about it. Her body really changed right away. So you can easily see how different the reaction was. Her face lit up, and as my fellow entrepreneurs often explain in a harsher way, I won't use this word here, but you can't make this stuff up, and you substitute the word stuff. And Jane's mission turned out to be an advisor or a trainer in connecting people heart to heart, one-on-one. And she actually translated this desire into creating corporate training programs of recognition, employee recognition. And it really took off, and she has created big steps. And so when at the end, and I'm going to read these because these are exact words, citation from what we really experienced and heard. So when at the end, I asked Jane's ego, you have always known deep inside what your soul contract was. What has been stopping you from fulfilling it? And the ego answered honestly, what if I don't succeed? The ego didn't believe in itself. And Jane's soul responded, but you're not happy with what you're doing now. So the soul has encouraged this working with me, and the soul has helped her find the soul mission. The soul was happy, and the ego was not confident that obviously they knew about the dream, both of them, soul and the ego, but the ego was sabotaging itself. The ego didn't want to pursue because the ego was not sure about itself. So the next day, Jane's face was vibrant. She was happy. She felt relieved. And what she told me was unexpected. She said, I really needed to know who I am, and now I know. So it wasn't only just, let's uncover your dream, let's uncover your soul mission. It's actually who you are, because you're here to give contribution, to leave legacy in this world. You're here to fulfill your divine mission, divine plan, and it's a soul calling. And so when you know your soul calling, according to my client, you know who you are, and that's a great feeling. And so I encourage you to start paying attention to your big dream. Uncover it if you haven't yet already. And if you got to this point in this hangout, then you are interested, and something tells me you haven't uncovered it yet. So I encourage you strongly, please do it. Please look at your dream. You can accomplish it. Why? Because you have a full support of your soul, and you cannot do wrong when you have a full support of your soul. And so, and once you start fulfilling your biggest dream, you start living fulfilled life, because your feeling of dissatisfaction with your circumstances in life will just disappear. Everything will start aligning itself. And I'm happy that you stayed with me and listened to the end. If you did, you're listening right now. So once again, I would like to invite you to receive my complimentary gift that will help you with your dream and with your everyday life. To receive gift from irina.com, spell IRINA, and receive your free gift, and it will really help you. So please leave comments to tell me if you enjoyed this hangout, if you learned something, and if the main thing is, have I encouraged you to pursue your biggest dream? Until we meet again, goodbye and have a wonderful day.